Alright guys, Dustin here with Vital Tradition. Got another video for you. We're out trying to get something going here on the ice. If you've seen the last few videos, it has been a tough bite. Holy smokes, tough bite. So we're out here doing something totally different today. We're in deep water, middle of the lake, and we're gonna see what's out here. I've never fished out here before. We've got marks on the graph already. I got 2 cameras rolling today for the first time, so hopefully you're gonna get a little better picture-in-picture on what I'm seeing on the sonar and what I'm doing here and looking at me while we're talking. It's been a work in progress here as I'm figuring this stuff out, so thanks for bearing with me, and we're gonna get after it here. I gotta tie a couple things on. We're gonna try 2 things. We got a tungsten jig, and we're gonna use a jigging wrap because I have no idea what's down here, so we're gonna kind of come at it from 2 angles and see what works. All right, here we go. We're gonna come down with a tungsten jig first and see what this is. We're in 27 foot of water. We got a long way to go here. All right, I figured out which line is my jig, which is helpful. Let's get down here and see what's cooking. Now there's stuff right on the bottom. I'm seeing marks that kind of show up throughout the water column here, but it's really hard to see if that's just debris floating through the water that's returning on the sonar or fish swimming through. I've got it zoomed in pretty hard here in 30 foot, so I know there's fish bumming through on the bottom, so we're gonna start there and work our way up. All right, here we're coming into focus. Stay up above them here. See if we can get them to come up off the bottom. You can see on the graph there, that's my jig, that bright pink purple thick line. I've got it super zoomed in, which is why it looks so giant of a mark, even though it's a 3mm tungsten jig and a little purple plastic tail. We're gonna see here if we can get something to go. I'm starting just like I do most times. I don't know why I do this, but I start finesse and then I'll work my way bigger. I like to try and see what's down there, if I can get a fish to go, versus starting big and working my way down if I don't catch anything. I don't know. It's just kind of like my intuition, basically. You can do it either way as long as you're making changes to try and get something to bite. You'll be all right. We're gonna try lowering down here a little closer to the bottom and see if that extra foot makes a difference or not. Something laying right on the bottom. Let's see if we can't get them to come up off the bottom and take a look. All right, we're gonna try something a little different. We're gonna go with this little SLR04 slab wrap, size 4. It's got a little rattle in it. Going natural color. We'll just see what shakes out here. Boy, that vibration really messes the screen up. Hopefully if fish wants to eat it, it'll be real obvious. Okay guys, here we go. Something's coming up to look. Not like that. Well, it came up and looked at it and then dropped down to the bottom. Did not like that quick jerk up ahead of it. We'll just have to hope we get a second chance at it, because I'm not sure if just vibrating these things in place is a good idea. I mean, I guess technically fish do that, so it's not necessarily unrealistic, but I don't fish these a whole lot, so we're just kind of trying to figure it out here as we go. All right, maybe we'll get our second chance here. Come on now. I'm just vibrating it. Hoping that's a bigger fish too, because this isn't a smaller bait. It's probably not a bluegill. Try a nice slow fall here and see what happens. Just shaking it right above the bottom. Another slow fall. Mark's just hanging there on the bottom. I'm just vibrating the jig in place here. Trying to keep the motions vertical, so when I'm vibrating it, I'm trying to bounce it like this in place, up and down, to keep it oriented like a fish would be in the water column versus going side to side with the rod tip. Going side to side might create an unnatural looking presentation with the lure. Not that you shouldn't try it, because who knows, fish are crazy sometimes, maybe it would work, but I'm just trying to think what that bait's doing down the water column as I'm fishing it. And I'm gonna drop it down and pound the bottom here and just see what happens. I haven't had this work, but I know it's a technique that does work sometimes, so let's see. See if something pins it down there on the bottom. Alright, we'll try short little hops on the bottom here. You can see I'm just barely getting it up out of the cone's dead zone and letting it just fall back down and hit the bottom. Short hops. Occasional I'll throw in a big one, let it just free fall. Maybe a little vibration on the fall. Hopefully we can figure this out. Alright, let's try something different here. Alright, let's go to something a little easier to see down there. Alright, we're going to try a jig and wrap. A little slimmer profile, and no rattle in this one, so see if those two changes make a difference. Here we go! Hooked up! Oh, come on, be something nice. Worked him off the bottom. What do we got? What do we got? Oh yeah, nice perch. Well, that was fun. Came up right off the bottom. I was pounding it right there in the bottom. Came up off a little bit, real slow, and just kind of vibrated it and didn't really make a giant jump. But that is a nice perch. Out here in the middle of the lake, 27 foot of water, having a lot of fun. All right, let's get them back down there. And actually, I think we're going to keep a couple and we'll clean him up. See if we can get another one real quick while they're maybe right there. Take a couple home with us. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go, come on. Here they come. Come on. Get it? Come on. Here we go. Here comes another one. Pretty aggressive. Come on. Hit it. Come on. Work them up. Boy, they don't want to go very high. They definitely don't like it when that comes down on them. They like this color though, and they like the jig and wrap versus the other one. I'm gonna just keep bouncing it right here, right above them. See if we can get another one to go. Here we go, coming up, coming up. That zoom really helps there on the bottom, because as you can see from the flasher, it all kind of blends together. Just moving it a little bit. I'm gonna stop vibrating, see what happens if they just slow rise. Nope, didn't like that. Come on up, come on. Hit it. Boy, they're not liking something. Something's wonky. Let's see if we can get down there real quick with the tungsten. We had a school, I think, a perch come through. We got one to go. Oh, and of course this is all fouled up. Okay, let's get down there quick. This is where those tungsten jigs are super nice. You can get down there really fast, even with something super small. So we'll see if this is too small. Maybe they do want something pretty big there, but we're gonna do our best to get down there quickly and figure out if this is the ticket or not. right, here we go. Let's see if we can get one to go here. Switched over to the tungsten plastic. Hopefully that school is nearby. Switched back over here. I think I saw the school come down. There we go. Got another one to hit. Go figure. Just holding it still. Just dead sticking a jigging wrap. And we got ourselves another eater perch. Holy smokes. Let's get back down in there. Go figure, they want it just dead sticked. Nothing. I am doing nothing, just holding it down there at the right height above their head. And he came up and smoked it. Alright guys, you missed that one because I had the camera off. First of many mistakes, I'm sure, trying to figure this out. But I did catch a second perch. I did get the sonar when he hit, so hopefully we'll get a third one here for you to look at, but yeah, I just forgot to turn the camera back on. Yeah, and this is a cool experience. Just happened to try this out. Never been out this spot before, and I'll definitely be coming back. This is a great little spot. Not a whole lot of people. There's 2 other people out here right now, which is pretty crazy. I got to go run some errands. Got a couple fish. I'll go clean them this afternoon. I'll bring you guys in there and show you how I do that, and maybe we'll do a little clean and cook. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to show you the other 2 fish here and the lure we were using. It has a nice little wrap. Speaking of wrap, it's wrapped around my friggin' transducer. One of the joys of using jigging wraps and other equivalents. But you got clown color jigging wrap, and we're using a 13 fishing ice spinning reel here, Wicked Ice, and I'm paired up with a Vexen multi-species rod. All right, that's gonna do it for the old fishing gear. Couple of nice eater perch. We're gonna go have ourselves a couple fillets, show you how to clean them. We'll cook them up, gonna be delicious. All right guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. All right guys, welcome to Vital Traditions clean portion of the catch this morning. We got 2 perch out on the ice, and I'm gonna show you guys how to clean them up here. Gonna be super basic. We'll just get this done. I got a little fish cleaning kit here. You don't have to use a kit, you just need a cutting board and a knife. For panfish, 6 to 7 inch blade, and you want a good flex to it so you can really get down close to the skin when you're getting that fillet off. We'll show you that here in a second. You can use newspaper or a cutting board. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. I've got my cutting board here. And I'm actually gonna use that knife. It's a little more flexible than this one, but you can use either one. Sharpen it up quick. Set that aside. Take our fish out here. All right, okay, we'll start with this one. All right, so what you're gonna do, you'll notice I slit the gills here to bleed them out on the ice. That helps the meat quality just a little bit, in my opinion. Some people may not think so, but so what you're gonna do to start is you're gonna make a cut right behind the pectoral fin here, angled up at the head. And you're gonna cut down here. Now you're gonna go up to the back and make a right along the spine, just a real, use the tip of the knife and just go in a little bit right along the spine. Feel for that spine, come right on down and walk the knife down. And when you get down here towards the tail, you're gonna push a little bit through here, keep the blade pointed down. I leave the tip, down here attached a little bit so that you'll see here in a second why. Now you're just gonna kind of walk the blade down along the rib cage. And you can feel the blade up against there every time you go down. And I'm taking my time here and just showing you guys how I'm doing this. Obviously I only have 2 fish to clean, so I'm in no hurry. I'm just walking it out, and I'm pretty particular. I do like to do the best job I can to make sure we're not getting any bones that could be avoided. You know, a couple, it's kind of the nature of the beast, but I do like to take my time and work the knife a bit. Alright, so almost separated from the rib cage. I'm just slowly walking it down, peeling it back. It's starting to come apart here. You see how some of that meat's still right there, so you want to make sure that you're coming right on down. All right, now when you get to this point, come on down here. You go right along the back here and go ahead and flip them up. See, that's why we left that tail connected right there. There's just a tiny bit of meat left on here. And to help with this part, I'm going to put on a pair of gloves here. I'll just use this one. Alright, so now we're going to take the fillet, leave it right like that, and you're just going to start the blade against the skin, and you want to hold that connection to the fish. I know you got it there just in case, but you're going to just ease the knife through, pushing downward pressure right here on the blade, so that way it flexes the knife. It does this. You see how that curves? So I'm pushing down and just pushing the knife forward as I'm bending and flexing the knife. What that does is it just pushes right through the meat, and you want to make sure your blade while you're doing that is also angled slightly down, probably a 30-degree angle there, and that's going to get it right next to that skin and get it off. Now you can see as I was talking there, I kind of came up a little bit with the blade, so we'll try and get that meat off of there just like that. Now you see you got your skin here. There you go, skin's off. You got a little bit left on here, and I'll just be real finesse here and try and clean that up. Now you don't have to clean that up. You can certainly just put that right in the wash bin, but I'm just going to clean it up a little bit here just to show you one more with the knife. Now we got that started on the back side. I'm going to finish that off and just work the knife real slow. All right, there you go. Now that skin's off. This is a clean piece of meat. Should be pretty bone free because we avoided the rib cage. Nothing in the back. So we're going to toss that into the water, and there's one side done. Now we're going to come over this side. We're going to do the same thing. Flip that fin over. Kind of cut down here. Come down the back, right next to the spine. with just the tip. You're just starting the blade, starting the cut as close to the spine as possible. That's the key, because if you get too far away right here in the beginning, you're going to hose the whole fillet, because you're going to work it and you're going to sacrifice meat the whole way down. So you want to be right against that spinal cord until you get down here, and then push on through. And then we'll flip that baby over in just a second. All right. So we're going to work that down just like we did the last one. And we're just going to keep peeling it, just taking our time. Now, if you've never done this before, keep your expectations low and take your time. You're gonna think and be slow, and that's fine. There's no rush. You're out here and you want to take care of the meat that you're harvesting, and it's just better to take your time and just figure it out instead of rushing through, and then you don't do it the way that you want to eat it, and it's just you're going to affect things down the road. So take your time up front and practice. It's going to take a few times potentially, and that's okay. Some people may get it right away, and that's cool too. There's just as they say, there's no pictures on the scorecard in golf. It's just the score. Doesn't matter how the ball gets in the hole. So clean it up the way you like to do it. If you like the skin on, leave the skin on. If you want to go fast, they've got electric knives. You can breeze through these, especially bigger fish, walleye, salmon. You can really save some time. And if you do this a bunch, you get really pretty proficient the more times you do it. So catch a few and keep practicing. Let's see if we got meat left on here. Make a couple nuggets out of that. Save that back. I got to weigh just a little bit on the bottom there. You can see kind of some of that is viable meat without bones in it. You can feel the rib cage right there. So what you want to do is you want to come down here. You may give yourself enough of a split on the tail. We're going to do the same thing here. Get that other tail skin out of the way. Flip this bad boy over. Get it close to the end of the tail. Fold it down. Pinch here. Downward angle. Downward pressure at your dominant hand operating the knife index finger. Push through. Okay. So downward pressure up through. Downward pressure up through. I'm not cutting. I'm literally just pushing the blade between the skin and the meat. And it just comes right apart. And there you go. There's your skin off, and there's your fillet. All right, so there's two. We're gonna put that in the bowl. Good to go. We got that another little chunk of meat off of there. All right, and that's one down. So we'll set that aside. And tip for you guys doing this at home, get yourself a bag. I'm gonna wrap these in newspaper and then put them in a bag. If you just chuck them in the trash, some of the stuff can get stuck on the bottom, especially if you're doing it in the garage and you're just throwing them right in your dumpster. Boy, that does stink after a while, especially if you're doing it in the summertime. Not as bad in the winter, but if you just take the extra step to manage your waste up front, it's going to save you a lot of frustration down the road. So get yourself a bag or some newspaper, and if you got a garden, feel free to use those carcasses left over from the fish in the garden, and they'll make great fertilizer. You can use even more of your harvest. Be cautious if you got critters around that'll dig them up and enjoy the scraps. That is a possibility. So we'll take care of this next one here. Same deal, we're just going to walk that knife right on down and separate it out. And you're just slowly separating the fillet from the rib cage. And then once you're back here, you're just getting it through right to the tail, right there. And then you can walk that blade right up the rib cage. Now the smaller the fish, the harder this is going to be, because there's just not a lot of meat on the side of a small fish. So you're going to spend a lot of time. It's going to be pretty tedious to try and do this, but that's just the way it goes with smaller fish. So if you're keeping the small ones, just, you know, be mentally prepared. It might take you a little bit longer to get through these steps. The biggest thing I can tell you after cleaning a bunch of bluegills, especially, they just have a tendency to, especially the smaller ones, will be real tough. And the best thing I can tell you is get a nice pair of rubber gloves to hold on to the fish, because that's going to shave a lot of time out of this process and frustration, because these things will slip around on you all day if you don't have something to grip onto. So I'll put a link to these gloves in the description. I haven't talked about them in other videos, but I found these 2 years ago, and these are the best gloves I've found for ice fishing in 6 years. I've gone through a bunch of ones that claim to be waterproof. These actually are, as long as you're not dunking your hand in the hole, which you could even do that, but as long as you don't go past the rubber coating. These are thermal gloves dipped in rubber, so they are waterproof up to here, obviously, and they're very warm. The dexterity is good for large items. It's not good for 3mm jigs, as you probably saw in some of the other videos. But this rubber grip is great for holding onto the fish while you're cleaning them too. So I'll put a link to those down below. I believe Cabela's has a version of them now. Like I said, these are a few years old, so they were pretty hard to find another set. Pretty slick, comes right off, ready to go. I'll flip around over, do the same thing. Get that fin up out of the way. And come down the back. And you can kind of feel right here when you get right about here, you're going to feel the ribcage end, and that's when you can go ahead and just kind of poke on through and slide that right to the tail, right on the back there. Now this method will work on just about any fish you catch, with the exception of probably catfish and maybe some other species I'm not real familiar with, but most of the freshwater stuff, you're going to be able to take this and use the same technique. Bass, walleye, bluegill, perch, crappies, pretty much anything you're going to want to clean up, you can use this technique or a modified version of it. The key is just to understand where the meat is that you're trying to get off this fish. Once you understand that, there's really no right way to do it. You just do it the way you get the meat off, and you're eating it, so cook it up. last fillet here. Start that process, get it all straight away, push, downward pressure, flex the knife, push it through. There you go. All right, we'll take care of the scraps here. We'll do another video to get the fish cooked up for you. Now, if you'll notice down here on bigger fish, you're gonna see like crappies and bluegills and walleyes. You're gonna see a bottom part down here of meat on top of this top part. A lot of people will just take the tail part too, so you're gonna see it all sorts of ways. But just be aware, on bigger fish, you're gonna have some meat down here below the lateral line. So when you're cleaning this back end, just be aware, once you get past that rib cage, you're gonna have some meat on both sides. Now this is a real small fish, so this distance between here and here, there's not a lot of meat right there that you're sacrificing. But on bigger fish, that will be a meaty, delicious portion. So just be aware and don't get hasty down here by the tail. All right, I got the fillets here in water. I'm gonna take them in, I'm gonna let them soak in the fridge for a few hours, and we'll cook them up tonight. And I'll get you guys over to that video here as soon as we're there. Okay guys, we're gonna show you how to cook your catch on this portion of the video. I've got those fillets I took care of in the garage earlier. We're gonna go ahead and do an egg wash. We're gonna bread them, and then I'm gonna do half of them in an air fryer, half of them on the stove top. So you can see two different preparations and choose the one that works best for you. All right, so as you can see here, we got our pan, regular old skillet. We're gonna use some olive oil. We're gonna go ahead and put that in. And I like to put enough in that you can drop half your fillet thickness and then flip it. You can also use a Dutch oven or something thicker rimmed and fill more oil in there, and then you wouldn't have to necessarily flip it. It'll cook the whole thing at the same time, or you can use a fryer. But this is really easy. Almost anybody can do this with what they already have. They don't have to go out and get more stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and get that warmed up. Turn that on and get that going on low. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna use Andy's fish fry breading, red seasoning, and we're gonna put that in a bowl, and we're gonna put some egg wash here. All right, 2 eggs should be enough. We only have 2 fish, so 4 total fillets. That should be plenty. All right, we're gonna beat the eggs up here. All right, it's good for the wash. Let's go ahead and grab the fish out of the fridge. They've been sitting in this nice cold water. Get them over here. All right, now we're gonna bread them up. After the egg wash, you get them in the pan. All right, so for this step, all you're gonna do is you're going to take a piece of meat, egg wash it, coat it here, put it in the pan, and those will be done first, then we'll do some in the air fryer next. All right, so we'll go ahead and dump it in the egg wash, and then we'll coat it with the Andes. Get it nice and covered. That's not sticking real well. I'm gonna do a double here. Do a double coating. You don't have to do 2, you can do 1. Okay, that guy's ready. We're gonna leave him right there. And do 1 more. In the egg wash. In the Andes. Get a good covering. And 1 more dip. Cover it up again. All right, then we're gonna drop these 2 into the frying pan. All right, bring these 2 over. Put that guy in. All right, nice and sizzly. Let them cook. We're gonna go ahead and dip our other ones while we're right here. I'm gonna go ahead and egg wash these. And we're gonna do these two in the air fryer. So for pan frying, like we're doing over here, you're gonna do low, not quite medium, so low to low medium heat, olive oil, and you're just gonna kind of watch it for time, but it does not take long, so just keep an eye on it. You know, 5-10 minutes, probably 5 minutes aside, flip it, just look at it. Get it as brown as you'd like it. Okay, I'm gonna drop this one in the air fryer pan. Same thing on this one. Gonna coat it. Come on over here. Get it all covered with the seasoning goodness here. Dip it again. And just really get it covered up here. All right. Now we're gonna drop that in the air fryer. And those are gonna be delicious. Air fryer. We'll get that dropped over here in just a second. All right, we're gonna get our two for the air fryer over here. I'm gonna drop them in. Put the lid on. That's the wrong lid. Let's put the right lid on. All right. And we're gonna go air fry 400 and 10 minutes. And we're gonna hit start. Off they go. All right, let's get back over here. Check on our pan-fried goodness here. All right, so these are probably ready for a little flip already. Yep, there we go. Gonna make sure you get those all coated in the oil, cooking up nice. And then while you're doing this, while it's cooking, you can go ahead and take the next step and get yourself a paper towel. And get it over on the plate so you're ready to go here when those fish are done. Take up any extra oil while they're cooling. All right. So that's your real basic setup here. You got egg wash, fish fry seasoning batter, and this is what I had them in, which was just cold water in the fridge after I filleted them out. Now these are not going to take long to cook. All right, I went ahead and switched the plates out here. We got a little one with a yellow rim and just a plain white one. We're gonna do a little taste test between the pan fry and the air fryer over there. All right, these perch here are done in the pan. We're gonna go ahead and get these out. Drop them on the paper towel here to cool. There we go. And we're gonna turn our burner off here. Get that out of the way. There we go. Now we're just waiting a couple more minutes here for the air fryer ones to be done. All right, we're about halfway done with the air fryer. We're just gonna peek at them. Just gonna turn them over here. Flip them over. All right. A couple more minutes here. All right, air fryer's all done here. Let's take the lid off. All right, that was 10 minutes on 400. Let's see here what we're cooking with. Get them out of here, and hopefully we didn't just botch half of our catch today. But I wanted to try something new, and briefly looked at a recipe online for the air fryer, but we'll see. Okay, so here's the air fryer plate. Here's the pan fry plate. We're gonna go ahead and take a bite of the air fry first, because I know what the pan fry tastes like. That is delicious. Super, super yummy. Definitely you could tell like almost no oil on it, but it's got a great flavor. The fish is perfectly cooked inside, and you still get all the Andy seasoning on it. So that's a great way to do it if you want to not use as much oil, or if you're not a big fan of frying stuff. It's a good alternative. And of course, the old staple here, tried and true, you've got the pan-fried perch. Delicious. Perfectly cooked. Yummy. Awesome. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for the cooked portion. Obviously, pick which way works for you. They're both delicious. You've got plenty of options, and there's plenty of options for the seasoning. Some people use milk instead of the egg wash as well. Keep that in mind. You don't have to use egg wash. And then obviously catch a few more fish if you're gonna feed more than yourself or other people. But this was just an appetizer for my wife and I. And we're gonna enjoy it. First one of the year. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe and we'll catch you on the next one.